Alright, welcome to my Pokemon Journeys, episode 88, a trial mission, the Deep Sea Diving Team review. Immediately start off with a recap of Project Mew, kind of like how Ash gets one for World Championships episodes, which is awesome. It really puts these two on equal footings and makes their goals both equally important. So Go is tasked to select a mission and chooses to capture a wild Kingdra. He seems nervous about the task, but Ash cheers him on, and of course he'll be along to help. The boys are off to the Hoenn region. Ash and Go spend some time exploring the ocean by themselves and catching all kinds of Pokemon, but to no avail. There aren't any Kingdras or even Seadras that they can find, but they do find a piece of something before getting launched back to the surface. After their launch, an old man on a boat asks what they're doing, and it's Drake of the Hoenn Elite Four. It's so awesome to see this guy again. He was the only Elite Four member that showed up in advance, and for what it's worth, I think that was one of the best episodes in that series. The way he interacted with and helped Ash grow as a person is something that's felt to this day. This guy's responsible for one of Ash's biggest changes. So do we get continuity? Do we get flashbacks? Well, we get Ash and Drake recognizing each other, but not quite having the right names, and we don't get any flashbacks. But honestly, I'm fine with that. Drake ends up playing a similar role to what he did there, but for Go here. And Drake has seen a wild Kingdra, and it sounds a lot deeper than Ash and Go could conceivably go. And that's what's cool about Project Mew. The tagline for this mission is using ingenuity and imagination to achieve your goal. So Go devises a plan using Chinchou and Ash's Lucario as a radar. But first they have to help Drake out when it comes to treasure hunting, as a trade for getting to use his equipment. And honestly, I think it's just so cool to see an Elite Four member just doing some regular work. Ash's Lucario locates an ancient submarine as Drake's ready to call it quits for the day. After a meal, they look at an ancient vase that Drake once found. A legend about the ocean is that an ancient submarine with great treasure sunk, and that's why Drake picked up treasure hunting. Go seems to have found a piece of it earlier as well. And when Drake's found this treasure, he'll move on to the next one for dreams and adventures. And I feel like this played into his advanced philosophy. If you become content with where you are, you'll just stagnate. So the next morning, Ash and Go are being sent off to dive. It appears that a deep sea current moved from a submarine where Go encounters a very expressive looking Seadra. I don't know why, but I just really like this little guy. It runs from Go into a Sharpedo and back into Go to hide from Sharpedo, which Go catches while holding up a Pokeball. The boys also found a dragon scale and Go gives that to Seadra, and as thanks, Seadra leads them to where Kingdra should be. Getting caught in a whirlpool, Drake is ready to pull the boys out. But Go shows some good knowledge by mentioning what a Pokedex says about Kingdra, and this is very important as the details about Pokemon do come into play. Go detaches his cable and swims down into the abyss. When he gets into an undersea cave, Kingdra is nowhere to be seen, so he does something incredibly smart by knowing that he's on borrowed time with his oxygen tank now. The Pokedex says if Kingdra and Dragonite meet, battle ensues, so Go plays a clip from Ash's Dragonite battling to summon Kingdra. And this is sweet because it shows up when we get Inteleon to come out and be a complete badass. This is just so cool as it keeps Kingdra on the move with snipe shots, and when Inteleon does get hit into Go and launches him back, Ash and Dracovish catch him. Go keeps going with Mantike limiting its movements with Ice Beam. Go looks at Inteleon and reveals that they've been training together to learn a new move, Liquidation, and oh my god, it looks ridiculously cool. It hits Kingdra hard and Go throws his Pokeball up. He tells Inteleon to snipe shot it, launches a ball to Kingdra, and Go's achieved his goal as he captures it. Upon leaving the cave, Go's oxygen is running out, so he has to send out Kingdra quickly to get him to the surface of the ocean. But one last look back at the submarine reveals a happy Seadra with its dragon scale. We cut over to Asahi and Tsurugi, who verify the completion of a mission, while they're in a desert heading towards a ruin. After hanging up on Go, the legendary Pokemon Regirock awakens, and we're back to Go, who receives his token. Drake talks about both of the boys' dreams and mentions that they have to hold on to those dreams and adventures that come with those, and I think it's wonderful. Project Mew doesn't miss. I just really love this episode. From a snowy Mount Coronet to an abandoned mineshaft to the ocean, we're getting a lot of variety in where we go with these and how Go approaches them. The ocean was something that Go seemed to be pretty unprepared for, even with all of his water-type Pokemon, which I'd say get a reasonably good amount of time to shine. Drake's presence was awesome. Would I have liked him and Ash to reminisce about their previous meeting and have a flashback of their battle? Sure, of course. I want to see Grover, I want to see Ash in his AG design, but I just don't think it's necessary. This is a Go episode. Drake's return doesn't need to be tethered to Ash. He reminds them both to stick to their dreams, and that's wonderful. I also don't think it would work well if he was to just use a random sailor or Mr. Briny or someone. Drake's in an insanely high position, being in the Elite Four, but he's not just complacent. He saw something he wanted to do and kept up to his dreams. It's very good. Then there's a mystery about what a Project Mew team is doing. As opposed to Regice on Mount Coronet, it appears that he seeks out this Regirock, and Tsurugi did say he'd be back for Regice, so I really do wonder what's up with that, and I do have a theory about it, which maybe I'll make a video about. But back to the chasers, it's oddly refreshing not having them here this time. Tsurugi beat Regice before, last time they both beat up the poachers, here it's just Go on himself to deal with this really. Even Ash didn't really need to do anything, but his reassurance is something that calmed Go's nerves, so that's a good way to show their friendship. I love getting confirmation that Go has been training with Inteleon too. Seeing it get a new move, that looks sick. and actually getting to continue to be super cool in that battle against Kingdra was amazing. While Go isn't better as much, his prowess is definitely increasing. The fact that he also basically trapped Kingdra to prevent its movement with Inteleon is a smart tactic, you know? I just think that this was a very good episode all around. I had a great time watching. Drake's presence was a treat, and by the way, that shout out to his voice actor for doing a wonderful job even though he's 88 years old. And it's just a fun adventure which really captures what Drake's talking about. So, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you're playing with Sinnoh remakes, I hope they're treating you good too. Thanks for watching, and maybe if you could consider subscribing, I'd appreciate it. Goodbye.